Hey guys, it's Rebecca O'Toole back with you again, here to speak to you about an issue that's near and dear to my heart: dumbasses in movie theaters. And I know what you're thinking. Why, Rebecca, you're not that old yourself. You flatterer, you. But you must have been a dumbass in a movie theater when you were a kid. And no, no, I wasn't. I wasn't a 13-year-old girl who sat there and screamed at every stupid jump scare. I didn't cling to the person next to me or go, ah, every time something scary happened. I was there for the experience. I wanted to see the movie. And sadly, that seems to be lacking in our culture these days, vis-a-vis my latest experience in the cinema. On Friday the 13th, I went to go see Insidious 2 with a good friend of mine and my future brother-in-law, Grizz. Not his real name. Now, he and I both enjoy horror movies, as our various boyfriends, fiancés, spouses, whatever, do not. So it's quite normal for us to go see one of these movies together. He and I had seen the first Insidious together, and both agreed it was one of the best horror movies in the last several years, so we were excited to see the second one. Expectations were not that high. It is a sequel regardless, but we figured it would be a good ride from James Wan, Patrick Wilson, and everyone who'd been associated with the first. So we were excited. When we got into the theater, what we had failed to realize was this is indeed a PG-13 horror movie because the MPAA, indecisive assholes that they are, decide, well, no body count, no real gore, and no gay people, which is the most important thing. If you want more on that, there's a wonderful directory. There's a wonderful. I am an idiot and can't think of. Documentary, thank you. Yeah, brain farts in action, never before captured on YouTube. There's a wonderful documentary that you can access on Netflix called Not Yet Rated about how screwed up that organization is. But I digress. Anyway, the movie being rated PG-13, it was to be full of teenagers. And we had chosen an earlier showing as my friend Grizz works at a grocery store and has to get up at the crack of dawn. Whatever. So we sit in the theater, midway back. Granted, we're there right before the previews. We'd been running late, and are surrounded on three sides by teenage girls. Young teenage girls, mind you. I mean, the girl sitting next to me probably was about 13 years old. This is relevant. And so as soon as the movie started, whenever anything remotely scary or jump scarish happened, scream. Like, loud scream. I'm not talking about, ah! Or, just a quick gasp, as in something I might have done back in the day. Back in my day, you didn't make noise in the theater. No, I am talking about full-blown panic, a killer is about to knife you in the face kind of scream. From all three sides. But they're not talking on cell phones. They're not really talking to each other, so we can't really complain. Okay, that's fine. You know what? If you're gonna scream, it's a horror movie. I might not like it, but it's a horror movie. I can understand. The problem came when the girl sitting next to me started to talk to me. And I understand, like, you're excited in a theater. Clearly, this other person who was there wants to see the movie too. If I had been of an age with her, I might have engaged in conversation. But she was 13. That's a good, 13 years younger than I am. Oh, I'm so old. Anyway, literally turns to me and goes, "This is so scary!" At an understandable loss, I turn back. "It's okay." "No, you don't understand. They're gonna die." "It's a movie. It's okay." The girl then proceeds to put her head into my lap. Yeah, into my lap. Nothing in life has prepared me to deal with this. I just turn to look at Grizz, look back at the girl. I can't, I have nothing. What do I do? And he proceeded to laugh at me because he's a bastard. Eventually, said girl removed her head from my lap and began clinging to her friend. There are no words for a situation like that. We proceeded to end out the movie fairly quietly, although after screams erupted at a very dumb jump scare moment, I just turned to Grizz. I would like to disassociate myself from the gender at this point, at which point he laughed heartily, and I informed him he'd be sitting next to the teenagers at the next movie showing. So, while I understand that teenagers are going to be rambunctious, and it is a scary movie, in what world is it appropriate to touch a stranger? And they don't know that I wasn't on a date with him. Hell, he could have been dragging me to that movie. I could have been just as frightened as they were. I wasn't, but you never know that. In any case, has anyone else had a situation like this? What the hell do you do? I felt like anything I did do was gonna get me arrested. I couldn't touch her. Didn't really want to touch her, mind you, but I couldn't. In any case, my point is simply this. If you're going to go to a horror movie and scream, it's fine. It's a scary movie. If you're going to an earlier showing, expect there to be teenagers. That's fine too. At least they weren't talking on cell phones and I didn't have to deal with texty, twittery. But for God's sake, don't just randomly throw your head into the lap of the person sitting next to you. Although my friend did have one good suggestion. If it had been him sitting there, he would have said, "Hey, wait, let me take my pants down first." Anyway, until next time, I'm Rebecca, and at some point I'll start reviewing it again.